What is up, you guys? It is Nundark, and 151, Scarlet and Violet 151, just had its second birthday. That's important for a lot of reasons. It's important because I think we're seeing right now in the market, not only is the market going crazy overall for all of Pokemon, and the New York Times and MSNBC certainly are not helping that. I mean, it is great from a is my collection growing in value standpoint, yes. And is Pokemon becoming more popular than it's ever been? Yes. Not so great if you're trying to open product, enjoy the hobby, purchase cards you don't have in your collection. It's getting expensive. And I wanted to just have a video dedicated to 151, which I do feel, and I think we can all agree on this, will go down as one of the greatest, most important sets in Pokemon history. It brought a lot of people back into the hobby. It is the only set since base set to basically only have the original Pokemon in it, not any of the new generation's Pokemon. So it's just special, and it's 2 years old now, and we're seeing prices for 151 cards go up. I mean, these are cards I'm bringing to a show this weekend. Charmander, a starter Pokemon, an illustration rare, a gorgeous one. Keep in mind, I'm pro 151, so everything I'm saying here, I'm like happy about. I'm happy 151 is getting the credit and recognition and love that it deserves, but these prices are crazy. And I think they're going to stay. And if you have them in your collection, it's crazy in a good way. It's just like, if you don't have this Charmander and you find a perfectly mint copy, you're looking at paying now $60 for a Charmander, $50 for a Squirtle. One of the best SIRs in the set is the spoon-wielding man himself, Alakazam, $55. That was a $35 card for a year and a half straight. The Zapdos is up to $100 raw and $500 in a PSA 10. So before I talk further about 151, because I'm going to give you reasons why that's happening, and it's going to be very important to understand, and then some guidance as to how to invest in the set and treat this set going forward. But before I do that, we have officially hit 2,000 subscribers. That is huge. That's huge for this community. That's huge for me. That's a goal of mine for a while now. The first goal was to hit 1,000 subs and to get monetized. That's, I think, for a lot of creators, a goal. Just you put a lot of time into something like this, and you want your time to be right. Everyone's time is worth something, and you want your time and your hobby and things to start seeing some of that come back, so you can build your own collection. In this space, that's what I care about. I care about my Pokemon collection. I care about this community, giving you guys information and kind of building something here. But to see some of that come back is important. And fuel, right? Fuel to the fire. So getting monetized, hitting 1,000 was a huge milestone. We did a giveaway at that point. Now we're at 2,000 subscribers, and this community continues to grow, and it's you guys who I have to thank for that. Not me. I come down to my basement, I talk about Pokemon. We do PSA submissions, PSA return reveals, less unboxings and product openings now than we used to. But we do vendor POVs. We talk about the hobby like I'm talking about 151 today, and it's just naturally and authentically grown. So I really appreciate that. There's the next video I'm going to post, if not the vendor POV from this weekend's show, is going to be the 2,000 subscriber celebration video and giveaway video. We're going to talk about a lot of cool things, the history of the channel and a couple moments that really got us to this point, and then how I can thank you guys. And that's going to be giveaways of cards, some sealed product, pointless signed energy cards like I did last time that are literally worthless, but hopefully they mean something to some of you. Yeah, I don't know, just we're going to celebrate. And in order to be a part of that and to have a chance at that giveaway, you have to be a subscriber, comment, like the whole thing, but that'll be in the next video. But why I'm telling you this now is please subscribe if you're not. I'd love for you to join this community. We did past 2,000. There's more goals to be had, and we're not stopping anytime soon. So if you want to at least have a chance at that giveaway next video, but also join this community, I appreciate you, I welcome you, and please subscribe if you're not. Okay, now, and I have an Instagram. This is probably the last time I'm going to plug this. It's still a small community over there. Instagram's a bigger community, but it's small for me. We don't even have 100 followers yet, but I'm still posting on there regularly, and I think it's an easier way for me to just throw up shorts or pictures, or even like on my story, I'll often share other news that I'm on there all the time. Like I just scroll. I'm on Instagram, and in that Instagram, it's dedicated to Pokemon for me. So on there, I follow a ton of people, and I get a lot of Pokemon updates and news from that Instagram, and I share it to my story. So it can be an avenue for you guys to get updates on when things are dropping, artworks that are coming up in future sets, prices for different cards. Like, I will share things that I think are good info to know. So if you want to join that community, handles on the screen. But okay, Pokemon 151, Scarlet and Violet 151. So Pokemon historically stops printing sets, and this is just a guideline, after 2 years. We have officially passed, I think September 21st or September 23rd, somewhere in those ballparks of 2023 is when the world was blessed with Scarlet and Violet 151 English. It came out a little bit sooner in Japanese, and we will talk a little bit about Japanese. Here's a sealed box of the Japanese 151, Pokemon 151. And I think there's plays to be made in Japanese specifically right now. But let's start with English. After a set has been out for 2 years, you will almost all but certain not see it get dedicated print runs, meaning that the ETBs, because this is a specialty set, there's no booster boxes, so the ETBs, the booster bundles, the UPCs, all these products aren't going to get another massive wave, most likely, of product. You're not going to see Target get restocked with UPCs floor to ceiling. You're not going to see LGSs just all of a sudden have 100 Snorlax branded ETBs. That is just not going to happen. And even if they did, it would never be enough to offset the prices right now. So I think people are starting to catch wind that this is a 2-year-old set. We're already on to the next era. We're on to Mega Evolutions. We're past Scarlet and Violet, Black Bolt, and White Flare, and we're on to the next best thing. We're already talking about Phantasmal Flames and the Charizard Gengar set. That set's like 2 sets from now. We haven't even gotten Mega Evolutions with the Mega Lucario and the Gardevoir and the Venusaur. Like, that one hasn't. That comes out this Friday. I think today. Literally today. And if you're seeing this video this weekend is the release of Mega Evolutions. Like, that is what people are thinking about. We're starting to see some of these older Scarlet and Violet sets as, like, vintage is the wrong term, but like almost old, like older, kind of how we're seeing the Sword and Shield era. We're not seeing Destined Rivals and Surging Sparks and Prismatic as old yet. Those are in our recent memory as like, that's a 6-month-old set. That's an 8-month-old set. That was recent. We can remember when that came out. 151 seems like it's been around forever. It is old enough, like Paldea Evolved, Obsidian Flames, Scarlet and Violet Base, Crown Zenith. 151's almost kind of bulked or put together with those sets in that like 2 to 3 year ago category, and we're just not going to see it anymore. Yes, 151 packs might get put into some exclusive Costco bundle product, maybe. Maybe the Blooming Waters box gets a reprint, maybe. But it is all but likely that does not happen. And packs right now are $10 to $15 a pack. Booster bundles, which only have 6 packs, are $90 to $95. That's $15 a pack. So it is, and it's not slowing down anytime soon. So it's harder to open packs and pull these cards for yourself. So what are we seeing in the singles market? Well, Charmander's now $60 because you can't just open 30, 40 packs of 151 easily or affordably and just pull yourself a Charmander. You have to now go buy it. And therefore, the price of a Charmander in all these individual singles is skyrocketing. This Charizard in a 9, right, used to be the price of a raw Charizard. It still kind of is, but this used to be for the longest time between $180 and $200. It's over $300 now. I think last I looked, a PSA 9 Charizard is like $325 in a 9. A 10 is like $1,200 plus, and that's expected. This is the no-neck Zardy boy. But the point I'm making is these cards that were always like sub 200 and then sub 100 for the Venusaur Blastoise, sub 50 for the Zapdos Alakazam, sub 30 or 40 for the starter trio, like these two and Bulbasaur, are now basically put a 1.5 to 2x multiplier on everything I just said, and that's where we're at, and I don't see it slowing down. A lot of people are like, now if the whole market crashes, like, forget what I just said, but that would take a whole market crash. We have the 30th anniversary next year coming up, and 151 is an all-time set. So I don't see, and Pokemon's at its height right now. I don't see, with the sets coming out soon, with the 30th anniversary coming up in February, with all that's happening in pop culture right now and the public eye around Pokemon, and supply far outweighing demand, or demand far outweighing supply, I don't see Pokemon as a hobby and as a thing crashing anytime soon. A lot of people are saying it'll happen after the 30th birthday. That would be next summer, when the crash is expected. I don't even see that. So that's just not going to happen. And a set that could weather any storm is probably 151. Like, yeah, if a crash happened, it would go down a little bit, but it wouldn't crash like some of these other sets. It wouldn't crash like Journey Together. It wouldn't crash like Surging Sparks. Like 151 would probably be the one to weather the storm. So knowing that, like, a play I made is I wanted the starter trio set in PSA 10s. So I think the illustration rare starters are almost cooler than the SIR evolution variants of Venusaur, Blastoise, Charizard. Yes, I am a massive fan. This is one that me and my wife pulled, and at that point we were grading with CGC, but we did pull these two cards and they both hit CGC 10s. No denying how epic these two cards are. And then our Charizard did get a 9. I showed that earlier. So that was frustrating. But those three were all pulled. These starters were all bought. But I actually think the starters I'm almost more of a fan of than the third stage evolution counterparts. And so I bought them when they were a little bit cheaper. I bought them when they were around $100 to $150 a piece. These are almost now across the board $300 a piece. I don't see that going down. I see the Squirtle in a 10 climbing even further. I see them raw going above where they're at now. I could see this Charmander at some point being a $100 card. And then things like the Alakazam, right? Alakazam I could see being a $75 SIR. The Zapdos going well beyond $100. The Blastoise Venusaur should not be under $100 as an SIR. It just shouldn't be. They are two of the three starter top evolutions. They're two of the three most popular Pokemon in the world. Blastoise and Venusaur, gorgeous artworks, hard to pull, and especially hard to get in 10s in English, like it with PSA. So the price is there. It should not be an $80 card. Let's find an equivalent. The Eevee illustration rare from Twilight Masquerade, the Salamence from Journey Together, gorgeous cards. Also, in the Salamence is an SIR that I could see being over 100. But there are cards here that the Sleepy Raichu from Paldea Evolved that's like $60, $65 right now shouldn't be the same price as a Blastoise SIR from 151. And I just mentioned a lot of great cards, so I'm not hating on the prices of those cards. I could see those going up too. But you're telling me that illustration rares that are pullable more often are equaling the price of a 151 all-time card and artwork of like one of the three big boys. I just don't see it. I see those being $100 cards very quickly. So if you can find them for $70 right now, $75, get them. Like if you have a Blastoise right now for $70, that will be a valuable piece of your collection at some point in the near future. That's just my opinion. Okay, then second, when you look, there are a lot of sets in the Scarlet and Violet era specifically, the Pokemon Company did a good job where there's 3 to 5 cards in every single set that everyone loves, that look great, that have great artwork, known artists, have value. The sets did a lot better of a job, at least all having some cards that mattered, where in Sword and Shield, it started off really weak. There was sets that literally are not good and only had like a card you wanted, and even the chase card might be $50 in some of those like first 3 or 4 sets. That's not good. And then you got into, yes, the sets that starting with Evo Skies, you got into alternate arts and then you got into the trainer gallery, and then Crown Zenith with the Galarian gallery. It started to pick up, but the Pokemon Company did a very good job in Scarlet and Violet. But even in Scarlet and Violet, you rarely can look at a set list top to bottom when you get into the secret rares and go, wow, I want every single one of those cards, and a master set looks maybe cooler than anything else. 151 is the only set where you can truly say, and I do mine a little different out of order, where I have the Charmander actually looks up to Charmeleon and up to Charizard, where Squirtle looks down into the sea at Wartortle and Blastoise. You know, I just do it different because I think it looks cool that way. but every single card, pardon my lights, but every single card from 151 is gorgeous, truly. And like, yeah, there might be, you might not be a Jinx fan and this card is just like not that important to you. I get that. But like on a page, that Jinx card is only $4. So it's not really that big of a deal. On a page, there's not a card in this set that people just despise. It's unbelievable, the entire set. And for a set to only be about Gen 1 and have cards that everyone loves and no throwaways, right? No throwaways. And the big three, which are undervalued in my opinion, and then a set that brought so many people back, and it's Pokemon everyone knows. And it's almost like tank proof, like the set's just not gonna tank, even if the market tanks. And I just don't see that happening. So that's why 151, and you can't pay to open it, or it's expensive to open packs now from 151. And people are starting to see it as an older set. All reasons, a perfect storm for what we're seeing in the market, where every single card is going up in value, especially the big ones. And then in PSA 10 values, they're soaring. Like the Zapdos was under 200 in a PSA 10. It's over 500 now. The Alakazam, do I have that out here? Let me actually grab that. I'm bringing this to a show. This was a $200 PSA 10. It is now over 400. And I think it's where it should be. I'm not saying this should be a $1,000 PSA 10, and I'm not saying that the starters are going to go from 300 right now to 700. Like, if they do, I consider me not surprised, but I'm not saying they should. I just think right now is actually a really like accurate representation of where they should be. This SIR is gorgeous, and if you can get it in PSA 10 English, it should be $400. The Zapdos should be a little bit more. It has all 3 legendary birds on it. It should be $500. I don't know how the Venusaur and Blastoise are like 300 to 400 in PSA 10s when the Charizard is like 1.2K. So those are potentially plays. The starters I think should be about $200 to $300 for PSA 10s. Yeah, I wanted to more explain why it is how it is right now. And that can be summed up in it's being seen as like an older set now. Packs are hard to come by, and it's out of its reprint window. And a lot of people, I think, as we get into this new era, there's also people who don't like Mega and aren't all about this new era and are starting to look back and go, holy cow, Scarlet and Violet's over. I don't have a master set of 151. I need to get on that before these prices go even crazier. And now they're starting to look back and attack 151 and realize how good of a set that is. So a play that I will be making, I do fortunately have a master set of 151 English, and I have the cards that I want in a PSA 10, other than the Charizard. I don't have that. And I don't really think I'm going to pursue Blastoise and Venusaur because I have them in CGC 10s, and I'm not going to crack them and regrade them because they're important to me, and I pulled them. So me or my wife. So I am bringing a couple cards to the show, including this PSA 10, just because it has far outweighed what I, paid for it, and at some point you need to liquidate in this current market and pursue other things in your personal collection, and that's just a card that I'm bringing to the show. Japanese 151. This has Master Balls. This has Master Balls, not like some of the newer sets like Black Bolt, White Flare, and Prismatic have, where there's Master Balls in English and Japanese, and they're basically seen as bulk. These Master Balls are, you get one a box, 20 packs, 140 cards. One of them is a Master Ball. It could be a shite Master Ball, like a Trainer, or like a Weezing, or a Nidoran, or it could be a Dragonite, an Eevee, a Pikachu, Gengar, Mewtwo. The list goes on. The starter 3, Squirtle, Jolteon, Flareon, Moltres. It is so electric opening these boxes that I do feel are official. They had a massive reprint. I don't think that's going to happen again. This set's 2.5 years old. I don't believe we will get another wave of Japanese 151. Now you have things politically like tariffs that come into play. The fact that it's out of print. Getting these is getting harder. These were $250 a box, and then the massive reprint happened. It brought it all the way down to $120, and now it's $193 last I looked. So this is almost a $200 box. You can't tell me that in 3 to 5 years, this box is not going to be well over $200. And I'm thinking like $300 to $400 for a box of 151 that guarantees you a full art or an SIR. So you're guaranteed a box hit secret rare, like this is a promo in English, but this was one box for my wife and I, and I'm not saying this is going to happen ever again, but kind of special. These two cards were in one box for us. Our Master Ball was, so you can kind of see the M there above the reverse hollow pattern. Our Master Ball was Mewtwo, one of the better Master Balls you can pull, and that 10'd. And our box hit was Mew, and that's one of the biggest hits in the set after Charizard, and that 10'd. So it was truly an all-time box. I don't think this is going to be a set that we open any more of, maybe for a special occasion. It is one of the best opening experiences, though, in my period, across the hobby. When you open those 20 packs and you are searching for that one reverse hollow that has M's on it, and you don't know which Pokemon it's going to be, and then you also are searching for box hits, and then, oh, by the way, you are guaranteed 3 illustration rares, and all the illustration rares are gorgeous. Like, it's just a home run, it's a slam dunk, and when English becomes way too unaffordable and it's $800 for a UPC or $20 a pack, or ETBs are $300-400 for literally 10 packs of 151, what are we even doing? Like, people are going to move to Japanese, and people are going to remember the Master Ball gimmick, and it's just, it's such a gorgeous, clean, small box. Like, it's a no-brainer play, in my opinion, to get these right now at around, if you can find them at shows. I'm finding them pretty successfully and regularly at card shows. People willing to come down to 150 if you buy more than one. So they're like 195 right now, but they'll have cases of them. They were in it for less than 100 a box, and if you just say I'll buy 4 of them for 150 a piece, and you give them $600, you now immediately have 800 in current market value. They're only going to go up, and if you did ever decide to open them and crack them, the cards are more likely to get 10s than any of their English counterparts. So look toward Japanese 151. Hopefully this summed up why 151 is A, one of the greatest sets of all time, B, why it is currently flying up in value. Along with a lot else in the hobby, I understand that, but C, why I think there's still room for it to go up further, and it's a little bit more market crash proof than other sets. So that was a long rant, but 151 is what I started this channel on. It's actually the first video I ever made. That might, a live reaction of my first YouTube video. Now we're at like 175 videos. I would love to react to my first YouTube video ever, which was opening an ETB of 151, like the day it came out. And I just said, I'm going to start a YouTube channel. And it's incredible. I did watch part of it back. I'm beyond excited for like Hollow Energies. The minute I had an illustration rare, I think I fell off my chair, like in excitement. And it's just crazy how when you're so new back into the hobby, it's cool to almost look back on how like fresh and exciting it was. Eventually you get a little desensitized, and I think it's beautiful to look back on what really brought you back in and how exciting those first pulls back into the hobby were for me. So that reaction might be coming soon. But 151 was what this channel and what my love for Pokemon was truly kind of built back on. And that's the case for a lot of us. So this will be the current generation of kids like base set. That's how it has to be seen. So I just think there's a lot of room for it to grow. So, all right. Thank you for helping me get to 2,000 subscribers. Subscribe if you're not. If you made it this far in the video, I appreciate you. But most importantly, be a good person. Tell someone you love them. We'll catch you in the next rant. Nundark out. Peace.